Hey wrestling fans, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with all the tools you need in one place. Totally free. Just go to anchor.fm on your computer and start creating that podcast you've been meaning to start. Take advantage of Anchor's creation tools where you can record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you on many different listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast, to name a few. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And the best part about it, Anchor is absolutely totally free. Download the Anchor app on your phone or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Have fun!
Hey, you found our YouTube channel all queued up. I'm Greg Dietz, and with me always is Maya Don Fisher. Hey, Maya, can you tell the fine folks what we do here?
Sure, Greg. What we do here is we review movies and TV shows that are exclusive to streaming services, such as Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon's Prime Video, Hulu, and others. Then, Greg and I have a discussion and break down what we liked or didn't like about the show or movie we watched, and we let you, the listener, know if it's worth investing your time in.
You can listen to our fine podcast on any streaming service of your choice. You can listen to our podcast and other fine podcasts on the Nerdvana Network. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Welcome back, Wrestling Junkies, and if you're new to the broadcast, welcome to this lovely community. It's still real to us, damn it. We are taking a break this week. We will be back this coming weekend with the wrap-up. Hey, somebody has to watch those 12 plus hours of wrestling and live to tell you about it, right? But the reason for this episode is I wanted to go back and redo all the episode description, and then I realized we did a top 10, but it's in two separate episodes. So I decided for this week to combine those two episodes into one. This way you'll be able to listen to those two episodes combined into one big super episode, instead of having to look for it, you know. Which means I have to also unpublish episode 16 and 17 because now it looks out of place when you just heard episode 37. And the next one after that is episode 16. So I'm going to fix that. But here's this episode from this past March, right around the time that Scott Hall passed away. And we had that discussion that he was one of those top 10 wrestlers that have never been world champion or held that big title. So here it is in its entirety. Hope you enjoy. We put out the question of the week. What are your top wrestlers, either heel or face, that were top guys in their era and in their company but never got the big belt? The World Championship in WCW or the WWE Championship? Again, keep in mind, growing up, we only watched two companies. One in WWE and the other in WCW. This list is going to be controversial to some, and it's going to have a lot of people saying bullshit, but I think the list I did indeed ended up being another 80s and 90s guys. So maybe it would be another list for the Millennium guys, the new era guys.
Yeah.
All right, so I gave myself some rules as to how I should pick these. Number one, Vince loves loyalty, so pick the guys that stayed there longer than a year. Or Bischoff. I don't know why I just said Vince, but okay. After that, there shouldn't be a reason why I didn't get a shot or a chance to become one. So my number 10. Rick Rude in WCW and WWE.
Ooh. Number 10, Rick Rude. Wow.
Right off the bat, let's start off with the ladies. I'm putting him at number 10 because he really did cause a lot of ruckus to get where he's at. He the top heel everywhere he went. Not one time did he turn face in WWE for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then he showed up in WCW for another 3 years and tried going after the big belt. He was a 3-time WCW International Heavyweight Champion with only a short time fight with the big World Heavyweight Championship belt, but he never won that. He lost. The sad thing here is that he took a bump from Sting, which caused him to end his career so soon. In WWE, he was a one-time Intercontinental Champion, feuding with Ultimate Warrior, and then later on with Roddy Piper.
Wow.
The guy was popular when he left. We all knew who he was. So when he made his way to WCW, you would think they would have given him that push. They gave him a United States Championship when he defeated Sting. some matches with Ricky Steamboat, but they didn't push the button on him when he faced WWE World Heavyweight Champion Ron Simmons on different occasions. On April 17, 1993, on the Spring Stampede pay-per-view show, he legit injured his back in a match against Sting. He retired shortly thereafter, only making appearances in ECW as a color commentator and in WWE as a member of DX manager, finishing his career in WWE as a member of the NWO, and most notably known as the only person to show up on both broadcasts of Monday Night Raw and WWE Monday Nitro at the same time. I also got a little bit of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, what he was doing at that year. PWI voted him Most Hated Wrestler of the Year in 1992. PWI ranked him number 4 in the PWA 500 in 1992.
Okay.
Not bad.
Wow. Dang. Because my number 10, I mean, I feel like your number 10 was controversial. Mine is Magnum Ta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Because he never got a chance to fulfill his potential, though.
He didn't.
He won, but the fact is that he didn't get a chance.
He didn't.
Out of the ring reasons.
Of course, I was looking him up as well because I was going through the list. Like Magnum TA is one of them.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, why didn't he get one? But then I looked at my rules. Like, they have to be there more than a year. So, like, when I looked it up, like, oh, okay, well, I see. He would have been on my list. I would have put him like the top 5, but still, it's like he would have been on my list.
Well, I guess my rules weren't as stringent as yours, but absolutely, number 10.
I gave myself some rules.
Number 10 is for me anyway.
For you,
I'm not as, like I said, it's not as stringent as yours. My number 10 has got to be Magnum TA. There's no way if he would have had 5 more years on his on his career, he would have been number 1. He would have went 1 more year. He would have caught the championship. He would have been a champion for 4 years straight, longest championship reign. That's my.
They were grooming him for that.
Yeah,
they were grooming him for that. They were ready to push that button. They said, "We want you to be the next champion."
Yeah,
and doing so, he was in a massive car accident.
Right.
Which wrapped around a tree. Yeah. He couldn't walk. The same thing that happened to Big E. They said his C10 or C9, one of those, fractured. And then he was in a feud with Nikita Koloff, was it him?
No.
And during that time, they went. They pushed the panic button. They turned Nikita Koloff face because of that, and he did a tribute to Magnum TA for that. So your biggest enemy did a tribute for you, basically.
Just did it right. And unfortunately, they couldn't put a steel plate in his neck to knock out opponents, so he wasn't the next narcissist. But anyway.
Lex Alexander.
No bus for you.
Always making fun of Alexander Luthor on this broadcast. I'm sorry, Alexander Luger.
Well, yeah. No bus for
same
you.
thing. Same difference. All right. Moving on. Moving on. Number 9. Kurt Henning, Mr. Perfect in WWE. My God, what?
No, go ahead. It's your list.
Wait until you see the top 5. This is why I put him. Hey, I put him there. He's good. He's great.
It's not my list.
He's great. Kurt Henning from 1988 to 1996.
Okay.
Mr. Perfect deserved that championship belt. He was top face and top heel. And still, yet they gave him the belt to people who would eventually leave for movies anyway.
Sure.
Another guy who feuded with the top face and should have gotten that opportunity. And I get they wanted to protect their company. They wanted to protect the business. but you give him a name like Mr. Perfect and he's a heel. You should be able to give him that.
Mhm.
He then held the Intercontinental Championship twice, which was the workhorse belt. The secondary belt, but it still doesn't count. He wrestled and faced people that would become top guys. Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, and Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, and this is why I have him at number 9, he started having back problems by 1991 when he suffered a broken tailbone and bulged disc and had to retire. So he retired in 91, but he still wrestled sporadically. He was a manager to Ric Flair, wrestled a match teaming with Randy Savage, but later on would mostly be in losing situations against Shawn Michaels and our favorite, Alexander Luger. Had it not been for his bad back, we would have gotten to see a perfect push for the top gold, especially in the era where Hulk Hogan left for the movies and WCW. Just imagine him versus Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, Tatanka, Bam Bam Bigelow, and feuding with the $1 Million Corporation. He was PWI Most Improved Wrestler in 1997.
Sure.
Number 9 of the PWI Top 500 in 1993.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
You're talking about 1997. Now, here is going to be, again, if you're old like me, if you're young like Ernie here, you might not appreciate it.
Oh.
Barry Windham.
Oh, not bad.
Barry Windham. Come on.
Where?
1993.
In
if
WWE?
No.
WCW?
Okay, it had to be 100%. No, NWA, but his 1993 run into WCW.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So, like, I will give you that percent of his run probably was NWA, but the 20% was in WCW. Absolutely. Barry Windham. Now, okay, if you're talking about just strictly WCW, WWE, okay, no. But come on. This guy easily transitioned into WCW, into one of the big twos. Should have held the... Yeah. You disagree?
I don't disagree.
I hear you laughing.
I don't disagree. Like,
you do disagree.
Damn, I was not the number where he's at. He's fine, totally fine.
I'm saying he's not my number 1, but I hear the laugh.
Like, I would never have chosen him. Like, the fact.
Why not?
I wasn't into
the guy. He was
a
technical guy. Was he a popular guy? No. Was he a T-shirt selling guy? Was he gonna make you spend $300 on a championship belt at a live event? Hell no. But was he not a guy who was consistent? Was he consistent in his character?
He was.
He was consistent. Was he a 10 guy? No. He was never a 1 guy either. But one guy every day, every night that he was
a middle. He was a middle.
Absolutely. 7 to 9. Was he a 7? Was he a guy every time he wrestled?
Around there.
Would you ever put him below 7?
No.
Okay.
Above 7, yes.
Above 8.
Above 7, yes. Around 8, yes.
Around 8. Okay, there you go. So for
not my number 1, not my number 9 or 10, though.
No, not my number 1.
Okay.
He's definitely my number 9.
Okay.
Barry Windham.
Wow, we're going to have so much fun with these, aren't we?
Okay.
And if you're listening and you disagree with our list, tell us why. Send us a message. Send us a voicemail. Come on. Tell us your favorite. I'll probably start putting in everybody that answered that in that chat room and just say off their names like, hey, I mentioned you on the podcast. Check it out. Because they're gonna be upset. I don't care.
Wow.
they named some of these. It's like, all right, cool. We'll see how that goes.
I tell you what, do your number 8. Beat Barry Windham for number 8.
Number 8. All right, we'll see. Number 8. Roddy Piper.
Mm.
1984 to
Popularity
1996.
wise, sure.
Popularity wise, sure. 1984 to 1996.
All right.
You're telling me you never held the big belt, but you gave him the Intercontinental Championship one
Sure.
as a transition to give it to Bret Hart.
Well, Piper is not better than Bret.
But at the same time, like in the popularity that Bret Hart was, like
wrong place, wrong time for Piper. I love Piper. Wrong place, wrong time.
His moment should have been at WrestleMania 1.
Ooh.
WrestleMania
1.
Establish him as the top heel of the company and give him that chance. I get you wanted to make Hulk Hogan your top priority. Hold on.
Nah. Okay.
I get you wanted to make Hulk Hogan your top priority, and hey, WrestleMania, come watch this. Look at this guy, Hulk Hogan. But after that, it should have been Piper.
Oh.
Have Hogan.
Okay, if not,
have Hogan chase it.
Yeah, if Hogan got struck by lightning, Piper. Okay, I'll give you that.
He smashed a coconut on Snooka's head. Top heel, most definitely.
Sure.
He fought Mr. T. He freaking smashed Cyndi Lauper. Okay. What? You're not going to give him the belt? And then when he becomes a top face, you put him in the mid-card and have him face younger talent. But you're not going to give him the opportunity to say, hey, I was the foundation of the WrestleMania. I was the foundation of here. Not just Hulk Hogan, but me. When people think of WrestleMania 1, they think of Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Paul Orndorff, and Roddy Piper. Number 8. Match of the year in 1995, WrestleMania 1, teaming up with 1985. WrestleMania 1, teaming up with Paul Orndorff versus Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Most hated wrestler of the year in 1984 and 1985. Most popular wrestler of the year in 1986. Number 45 in the top PWI 500 in 1992. Can't wait for your calls, guys. Come on, bring it in.
I don't want to do it now. To say.
No,
I know you're gonna have something to say. Fine. Do I have to do it? Do I have to?
We all have something to say. We will most definitely have.
I want to throw this list for now because you're such a corporate guy.
What?
Fine. Arn Anderson.
Oh,
you happy?
Yes, I love that. No,
Arn
is that
Anderson.
Is that really your number 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Arn Anderson.
Let's go.
Back then, although I was not a WCW guy, Arn Anderson, sir, there was no guy tougher than him. If you wanted to find somebody tougher than Arn Anderson back in the day, you had to go to Demolition. And Demolition, yes, that was the tag team, but they were a tag team. But if you wanted to find a tougher single guy back in the day, you had to go back and you had to go to Arn Anderson. If you have a disagreement with me, fight me. And I'm talking to you, audience. Fight me. I live in Pennsylvania. Come to me. We can fight. It might be the city of brotherly love, but I promise you, it'll be the city of me kicking your ass. Fight me.
Number 8, Arn Anderson. I agree with that. Do you have
a problem with it, Ernie? Because you can come to Pennsylvania and we can fight it out too. And we can put it on and they can pay us and come on, let's do it.
Let's go.
Come on. you guys out there, pay us. You put money on Ernie, you put money on me. You take the odds. Because I'm pretty sure that not only can Arn Anderson kick the ass of Ernie's number 8, but I kick Ernie's ass too. Let's put it down.
Arn Anderson versus Roddy Piper?
Absolutely.
Oh, that sounds like a match.
Let's do it.
That sounds like a match that would have happened already.
It should have happened. And you know what happened? Roddy Piper would have had his shoulders down on the mat for 5 seconds, not 3. What do you think about that?
Maybe Roddy Piper could have taken, I don't know, Arn Anderson's spot.
Absolutely not.
Somewhere. And in a cage match.
Yeah, maybe. But I
Or
don't
giving
think
it to
so.
Mr. Perfect.
You're telling me
too soon.
Tully Blanchard in his corner? You're telling me Roddy Piper's going to take any kind of match? I don't think so.
He wasn't scared of Mr. T. Come on.
Come on.
All right. Number 7. Oh, you're going to get mad. You're going to get mad.
Oh.
Ricky Steamboat. 1985, 1988. 1985 to 1988.
I can respect it. It's coming from you. He definitely kicked your butt.
Initially, after getting a DDT from Jake the Snake Roberts on the concrete, which Jake didn't want to particularly do because he was scared. Ricky wasn't going to stop himself from hitting the pavement, which happened anyway. Vince should have owed Ricky a favor from here on out. That favor would have been after him versus Macho Man. Vince should have owed Ricky a favor. Like, hey, I owe you a favor. You want a shot at the belt, at the big belt? You want a belt, the big belt? I can give it to you. The next strike is being the top match of the night, right next to the match that Vince thought was going to be the top match in the main event. Vince should have thanked Ricky Steamboat then after he won the IC title from Macho Man. But instead, they punish him for it and have him lose in the tournament for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 4. He left WWE in 1988 for WCW because of that. He wanted to spend more time with his family. They didn't punish him for that. They punished him for being the main attraction at WrestleMania 3. Like, you stole Hulk Hogan's thunder. We're going to punish you. Really? Goodness. Match of the year, WrestleMania 3 against Randy Savage. PWI. Ranked number 6 in the PWI Top 500 in 1992.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, I can't say that you're wrong, but I won't say that you're right either.
Hey. We can agree to disagree.
Can we agree to agree on Nikita Koloff?
Oh my God.
Hey.
You have... Go ahead. Let's go.
I'm an old man. What are you going to do? This guy, come on, had a run. Haven't seen a run like him until you went into the 90s with your favorite guy. Who's your favorite guy? The guy who almost died cutting in his veins, punching a limo window. Who's your guy? Name him. I'm not going to name him for you. You name me. You name him. Who punched a limo window, killed himself on live TV?
Goldberg?
There you go. Nikita Koloff. This guy had a run only rivaled by your guy.
He's not my guy. Go ahead.
He feuded with Flair. He feuded with Hogan. Come on. He was the number one guy. Again, I know you want WCW and WWE only. But they were not. They're not.
I only did those because I only know of those. You knew of NWA apparently, and I was like, "Hey, I didn't know about those guys."
I wasn't calling you out. I'm just telling you, these were big name guys that came over. You know that Nikita Koloff was a name in WCW. Was he a name? Of course not. But was he a name? Yes. And why was he a name? Because he was a big name in other federations. He was also a big name in WWF in the 80s. So, and he feuded with your good guy Hogan, your best friend, apparently. I mean, when was the last time? Have you been to Tampa? Have you been to Hogan's house? I haven't been there, but you make a friend like you've spent the night.
Hogan knows best, and so
apparently Ernie knows best too.
All right,
so talk to me.
Moving on.
Have you been spending the night? Are you? I'm thinking you're maybe. I don't know. Are you next line for Brooke? What's going on here?
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I'm calling Nikita Koloff, and I'm calling you. If Nikita Koloff number 7 And apparently you're number 7 for Brooke. What's going on here?
Ricky Steve was my number 7.
Yeah. No, Brooke Hogan is your number 7. How about
All right, fine. Number 6, final one. And then we move on to number 5 next week. Number 6, and, just in time, is coincidental that it happened because this list was already made weeks ago. Razor Ramon in 1992
Wow.
to 1996.
Number 6?
Come on.
Your number 5 better be Triple H, The Rock.
Number
Bret Hart.
5. My number 5 is better than my number 6. I tell you,
better be
right now.
Good
right
Lord.
now. Razor Ramon in 1992 to 1996.
Wow.
NWE WrestleMania 10 ladder match should have told you he can go. Him facing Bret Hart at Royal Rumble 93 for the title just said that he can go. He defeated Diesel on the year that he was world champion and was in a feud with Jeff Jarrett. And that should have told you that he can go. He didn't even complain when they had Goldust flirt with Chico. It's no wonder he was the first one to shoot that shot and go to WCW. Check out episode 16 titled Hey Yo of the All Things Wrestling Podcast to learn more about him. Yet he didn't get an opportunity to hold it and be near it after that Royal Rumble match against Bret Hart. That was it. That was done with. After that is all mid-card. He didn't need it, but at the same time, all your favorite matches are with him. Against Bret Hart, against 1-2-3 Kid, against Shawn Michaels.
I'm not arguing that. I just can't believe that's high up.
PWI Match of the Year, WrestleMania 10 versus Shawn Michaels in the ladder match in 1994. Ranked number 7 in the PWI 500 in 1994. I told you this was going to be controversial. Let's go. Number 6.
Well, I guess I'm going to be asinine as you are. My number 6, Roddy Piper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
I know he should be higher on my list because I actually know what I'm talking about. But
oh my god,
he was one of the guys to originally beat Hulk Hogan cleanly, not a DQ, not a disqualification, but actually putting his ass on the mat. 1, 2, 3. Non-title match, that's fine. But again, he still beat him. And then he still went on to beat up that he shouldn't have beat necessarily 1, 2, 3, but he still did it. So 1, 2, 3, and he went on to have, again, sorry Hogan, and if you ever want to pay for me to move to Florida, I'll take this back. But Roddy Piper's movie was better than Hogan.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Which one?
Roddy Piper's one movie was better than all Hogan's movies put together.
Oh my!
And the TV show.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Wow.
That one.
Wow. We're gonna have to save this for next week.
Finally, Johnny J of the DMSW podcast has come back to the From Under the Apron podcast. That's right, folks. Thanks to your tag team champions, Ernie and Michael from the From Under the Apron podcast. My name is Johnny J, and I am the host of the DMSW podcast. If you're up to date on all episodes from these guys here, and you're looking for a new podcast to check out, please come look me up at the DMSW podcast. What does DMSW stand for? It stands for Disney. What? It stands for Marvel. What? And it stands for Star Wars. What? That's right. If you're a fan of all things Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, then this is the podcast for you. On the show, I'll be doing interviews and having special guest hosts join me while we talk about anything and everything under the Disney umbrella. We're going to cover traveling to the Disney parks, and we're going to talk about our favorite rides, hotels, snacks, and dining experiences. And we'll play a little Armchair Imagineer, where we talk about what we might like to try to change or improve at some of our favorite Disney parks. We're going to dive into Disney Plus, and we'll review movies and TV shows from today. And for those of you looking for some nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, yeah, we'll check that box for you too. For the superhero fans, we're going to go and we're going to talk a lot about Marvel and the MCU while we review the newer movies and Disney Plus shows, as well as rank our favorite superheroes and movies from the past. We will also travel to a galaxy far, far away and find out if the Force is strong with you while we talk about all things Star Wars as well. New episodes come out every Monday, so give us a listen, and if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star rating and a quick review. So what do you guys say? You ready to meet me at Epcot? You want to go drink around the world? You want to have 1 beer? You want to have 2 beers? Want to have 3 beers? Want to get a margarita? We'll get a shot of tequila? Well, we'll do it all, because that's the bottom line, because Johnny J said so. If you smell what the DMSW podcast is cooking.
So why don't you start us off with number 5?
All right.
And are we ready to drink? Is this when we drink?
Well, I've already been, but sure. Just wine this time.
Oh, okay.
Keep
That's
that light.
pretty much, that's fine.
That's fancy.
Let's go. All right, start us off.
All
Let's
right.
go. Who are we going to complain about?
My number 5 is gonna be Superfly, Jimmy Snooka.
Nice. Okay.
Definitely a superstar back in the day, fan favorite. Everybody loved him. Young people, old people, involved in. Although he wasn't the cause of the controversy, but he was involved in a controversial segment with the coconut. I don't see why they couldn't have put the belt on him for half a year.
Half
You
a
know,
year
he
would
had
be
the look.
fine.
Yeah, he had the look. He had the talent. He could go. I don't see why for at least half a year.
Yeah, it's true. All right, my number 5. Oh boy, can't wait. Owen Hart in WWE 1991 through 1999. Not because of his death, it's more of a he should have gotten it when he was feuding with his brother. SummerSlam should have been it, but he didn't receive that push. Instead, it was given to Bob Backlund, crazy psychotic heel. Owen was a top heel from the start of the year. He won the King of the Ring. He should have put him in the front of the line. He got together with Yokozuna, and then when that finished, they let Yoko try to go after it again instead of Owen. They had Owen and British Bulldog as a tag team, so they let Davey Boy go after it. Owen gives HBK a concussion. Still not a championship opportunity. Montreal Screwjob happens. Owen's the only one that stayed. That should have been a reason to give him the belt at least for a few weeks before throwing it back to Shawn Michaels, who left anyways because he had a bad back. You know, give it to the guy that can actually wrestle. Not that guy. Not, I lost my smile. Not my back. Not, all that. Give it to the guy that can actually wrestle. Put him in a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That would have been a better pay-per-view main event. And friggin' WrestleMania. And, from there, hey, build-up would have been like, you broke my neck. And Owen would be like, yeah, I broke your neck.
Yeah, like
what are you going to do about it? Stun me.
And, Hardcore Holly, right? That could have been a precursor to that.
Pretty much. PWI Feud of the Year with Bret Hart in 1994. Number 10 in the PWI Top 500 in 1994. Even he's my top 10. He's on there. Let's go.
Okay. That's a good. I'm surprised he's not your number 1.
We're not there yet. Like, I'm trying to get people to listen, and then you lost me. We'll see if I lose anybody. I'm also a member of the Old School Wrestling group. I got a few people here. I got Neil Preet saying there's a few WWF guys I thought could have had a good run. Did Razor ever get it? Big Boss Man, Rick Rude, Jake Roberts, all were talented enough in some way that I could have seen them win a run. I agree, dude. I agree.
All good names.
Some people said Double A, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
So, Wahoo Mcdaniels, which I thought, like, wow, really?
Yeah, that's kind of wow.
You got
That's a
some
name I haven't heard
trolls,
in a while.
right? You got some trolls, the usual trolls. Repo Man. I'm like, really? Tito Santana.
Okay, that's fair.
Hercules
It's better
Hernandez.
than Repo Man.
Hercules
is
Hernandez.
good. I like Hercules. Stop.
Ken Shamrock.
He kind of had it for a weekend.
Bam Bam Bigelow's on that list of.
That's
wow.
Good. That's you don't agree with that?
Yeah, I do, but the fact that they made him into a jobber that whole year.
Well, that yeah.
With the $1 Million Corporation. I got Paul Orndorff, Wahoo, Magnum, Nikita, all basically people that you said.
I do like Paul
Orndorff. Who else? Bobby Eaton. Really?
How about the Red Rooster?
Nobody mentioned the Red Rooster. Somebody said Terry. Yeah, it might have been one person said Terry Taylor.
Okay.
And I just said no way. Bobby Eaton, Davey Boy Smith, Dean Malenko. Really, Dean? I don't. No, another troll saying Bastion Booger. If you remember him.
God. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Why not Duke the Dumpster if we're gonna?
And we're gonna go. Not a champion, but a champion in our hearts.
Always.
Leaping Lanny Poffo. What? Jumping Jim Bruzel. Who are these people? Paul Roma and King Kong Bundy. Really, dude?
Hey, Paul Roma. Well, I like Paul Roma.
I would have said King Kong, but Big John Studd. I didn't know he wasn't a champion.
Oh wow.
Junkyard Dog.
I knew he wasn't, but I don't know.
Ronnie Garvin, Bad News Brown. Doink. Right. So it was mostly a bunch of people saying Paul Orndorff.
Nice.
Like, good, yeah.
Mr. Wonderful. I mean, what was he? WrestleMania 2, right? Or was it
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1?
WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. They were all top guys. Dino Bravo. Yeah, Dino Bravo. Damn, I should have just said Dino Bravo also. I forgot about him. He would have taken it from Hogan and Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
Greg the Hammer Valentine. That's your guy.
Yeah.
Here goes another troll, Brooklyn Brawler. Yeah, a bunch of other. Adam Bomb. I can't with these. Okay, number 4.
So my number 4, and it's gonna sound funny, and it's not. It really wasn't one of my favorite wrestlers. I was just surprised at that time. Was Mr. Kennedy. I was surprised that he never got the belt.
Mr. Kennedy.
Because they pushed him hard. They even won Money in the Bank. And you figure
Kennedy.
when you win Money in the Bank, that usually amounts to something. So I was surprised by that. And like I said, not my favorite guy, but I feel like he was relevant in.
Hey, well, my number 4 is a different Mr. Anderson. It's Arn Anderson in WCW 1990 through 2000. 10 years with the company, man. 10, well, more.
That name sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you look up Scissors and Sid Justice.
But I feel like I mentioned that name.
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with you.
I'm saying it. I feel like I
Yeah, pretty much. It's Arn Anderson. The number one top man of the top heel and top stable in the company. We should do that next. And even when Ric Flair left, Arn should have picked up the slack. What did Triple H do when HBK left after WrestleMania? Tripp became a top guy. So instead of him becoming top guy in WWE, when Rick and Flair and Sid left, they make him go after the tag belts. Really? Why? Like, he's not good enough for your big belt? Honestly, this was his chance to prove he wasn't just the master of the spine buster, but a good main eventer. He was WCW TV champion 4 different times, WCW Tag Team Champion with 4 different people 5 times, ranked number 9 of the PWI 500 magazine in 91. You talk about a company man, this man was it. Only they didn't pull the trigger on him because they were too busy experimenting with others that didn't deserve it. Yeah, Lex. Alexander. Maybe you saw just because you had that belt over there, you were going to get on the road.
Who needs a belt when you have a bus?
Oh, yeah. Number 3.
All right. My number 3 is Jerry the King Lawler.
Whoa! That's...
When he was feuding with Bret Hart, I feel like they could have given more relevance to the feud if they would have given the belt to Lawler and then had Bret Hart take it back.
That was a lot. That would have been a lot of heat.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree.
For Bret to take it back, like I said, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, it's a short time. Back then they didn't have the
short title reign
or whatever. Yeah, they didn't have them every month like we do now. So 3-6 months. But I think that would have given more relevance to the feud. And it would have given more relevance to Lawler in WWE.
Yeah, it would have. Like, I get he's just a joke. They treated him as a joke, and then the comedy routines and all that.
The comedy, yeah.
The comedy.
The real deal. If you look him up before WWE, and I know you know, but I'm saying for anybody else, look him up before he was in WWE. He was the real deal. He was a serious wrestler.
I mean, he freaking destroyed Andy Kaufman.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, look him up aside from that also.
Aside from Andy Kaufman, but he is the king of Memphis for a reason. Yeah. Number 3, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
And
that used to be number 1.
1986 through 1992. Why does man not get a championship title after all the shit he pulled with that snake?
Yeah.
He had a weapon. He literally almost killed Macho Man. He was in a blind man match. He almost gave Ricky Steamboat a concussion. He practically gave Andre a heart attack with that snake.
Say, yeah. The only person, well, not the person, but scared of the snake.
And then they kill his snake right in front of him.
Or Earthquake did that.
Yeah, Earthquake kills the snake right in front of him, but won't give him a push after all the shit you made him do. Number 23 in the PWI 500 in 1991. He's up there. All right, top 2. Let's go. I'm about to get some people mad. All right, who's your number 2?
All right, so number 2, although when they brought him over, he went from real deal to a joke. The Stalker.
Oh, Brian.
DDP should have had a belt.
Oh, DDP, yes.
I don't know why they brought him over and brought him into a joke. He must have had backstage heat or something.
I don't think it was more. I don't think it was backstage heat. I think it was more of we own your contracts. We own WCW. Let's make WCW into a joke. And all the stars, every champion from WCW was turned into a joke. Booker T.
That's true.
And DDP.
Not Jericho though.
No, he was the joke. He never held a belt though over there.
Never held it, but I guess he spun it in the right way because Jericho kind of became a bigger star in WWE than he was in WCW.
Pretty much, yeah. but everybody that they bought after they bought WCW, everybody that from there that was the champion, like the heavyweight
Yeah,
champion
true.
from
That
there,
were big guys. Yeah.
top guys were just treated as jokes. DDP Booker T at first, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash
Buff
got
Bagwell,
relegated to
which
that. Buff
I was
Bagwell for one night.
legitimately upset about.
Buff Bagwell for one night.
I was legitimate
I,
because I liked
yeah.
Buff Bagwell a lot.
Scott Steiner, pretty much.
Yeah, but he was a WWE guy before he was a. Well, I can't
Yeah,
say, but he was a WWF guy.
For 1
before
year.
he made his big name.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
He was in WWF for 1 year.
Really? Was
And
it
that
only 1 year? As the
That was
Steiner
only
brothers?
that was the only 1 year, and
Oh.
it was the whole Steiner brothers going after the tag belts, and that was it.
Because
He
as a
went-
kid, I remembered him only as a WWF guy. Like I wasn't
Right.
watching WCW.
Thought so too, and then he goes to WCW, stays there forever, and NWO and all that.
Okay.
You're part of the reason we lost the ratings war. No, I gotta kill your momentum, kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with DDP. Should have been because he was doing the whole positivity page in WCW,
Yeah.
and then what's positive about being a stalker? Come on,
Yeah, they really
eh,
they really did him dirty.
they did him dirty for real. Who's next? Me?
Yeah.
All right, number 2. And on this list, but not in my heart. Always number 1 in my heart. This person was undefeated from 1991 to 1996. Well, 1991 to 93. But he was there for 5 years at least. He had an undefeated streak from 91 to 93 before he lost to some douche who left because his ankle got hurt. Yeah.
Oh no.
He would go after the Intercontinental Championship and lose via countout or DQ at WrestleMania 9.
Ooh, wait.
He didn't get pinned during those 2.5 years,
Are
but he
you
would be.
serious? I know who you're gonna say.
But he would be pushed as a main eventer and have main event style matches. When Hogan was gone, he would. Oh boy! When Hogan was gone, he would eventually adopt the hulking up move and run around the ring to get that energy from the crowd, and then point at his opponent.
He wore a loincloth.
He wore a loincloth, and his name was Tatanka. He was honored. Yeah, pretty much. He was honored by Chief Jay Strongbow, Chief Wahoo Mcdaniel, and Lumbee tribesman Ray Little Turtle with a full-length Lumbee tribe headdress on an edition of Raw. He feuded with IRS because taxmen wanted him to pay taxes for that headdress. But my favorite year for him, my exact favorite year, I'll never forget it. It was the most epic plot twist ever. And from this moment on, we should just do freaking faces that turned heel that you didn't expect. In 1994, when he turned heel against best friend Lex Luger and joined the $1 Million Corporation. That right there, like, you son of a bitch, no! At the same time, it was Alexander Luger, fresh off the his bus tour. Off the bus. But still, it was freaking epic. He would feud with Luger, Bam Bam Bigelow, and have matches against the champions like Diesel and Bret Hart, but always fell short. If anything, 94 and 95 would have been the year to have him with the championship and then have another feud with Lex Luger. Ranked number 40, unfortunately, in the PWI 500 in 1994. But he deserved that. He deserved better. Especially that heel turn. He deserved better.
No, I can agree with that. I love Tatanka. And back then, what kid under 12 years old didn't like Tatanka?
To me, that right there was like Hulk Hogan turning heel.
Yeah, that was a big deal back then.
That was a big deal. Tatanka turning heel was like, he did it first. He said, stick it to everybody. And then Hogan does it 2 years later. But still.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Number 1.
All right, so this one, I don't know. It might be controversial. It might people might not care. But he was a great wrestler. He was an even better talker. And he went by the moniker The Body
Oh my.
until he became a governor and changed it to The Mind. Jesse Ventura was, if you look him up, you got to look him up before the 90s, 70s, and 80s. Look up his matches. Look, he was a serious competitor. I don't see why he didn't win the championship.
A freaking body. Yeah,
in the
pretty
80s.
much.
He was a
freaking-
definite serious contender. He was basically Hogan before Hogan was Hogan.
He ruled on the wrestling. He ruled on the mic. And
Yeah.
like CM Punk once said, he was the best in the world at that time.
Ruled in Hollywood, and then he ruled in Washington, as a governor, in politics. So,
Minnesota.
yeah, well,
Minnesota.
not literally in Washington, but Washington politics. He had the look, he had the talk, he had, he could cut a promo like nobody's business back then. I don't know. I would have to do more research into that. I have no idea why Jesse Ventura never won the belt back then. Maybe because they had, was the bigger guys. They were more into the bigger guys. But he was a big guy. He was about Hogan's size back then. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he was.
When he was competing.
He was there.
He might have been as thick, but he was definitely as muscular. I don't know why he never won the belt. That's my number one.
Yeah, number one. Oh, number one in my head.
Uh-oh.
From 1987 to 1996.
Ooh.
Like what, 9 years?
Wow.
9 years from the 80s to 90s. And still, when he leaves in 96, he still becomes a freaking hated person. He is the most hated in WWE. He was the most hated in WCW for a little bit, but
Ooh.
still.
Okay, let me ask you before you say it. Is it a really big guy?
No.
Not a really big guy. Okay, go ahead.
No, not a really big guy. The man has a long resume. He bought the WWE Championship from Andre the Giant, but they didn't acknowledge it, so it's not in the history books. It's Ted DiBiase. And since he thought he was cheated from that because he paid a price, he turned it into $1 million belt and always defended it, even though he won. Nobody else was going to win that belt, except maybe Virgil, but he didn't matter. He got a bodyguard, paid off Dusty Rhodes' Dan friend Sapphire, and turned and then kicked her out. After he defeated his opponent with the $1 million dream, he would stuff a $100 bill in his mouth. So when he wakes up, to be a way of saying thanks for doing the job. Sometimes Virgil would retrieve the $100 bill and keep it for himself. You got to pay the bills.
Yeah,
Bodyguard's not free.
no.
He made a young kid, RVD, kiss his feet for money on live TV. RVD. Rob Van Dam.
Who wasn't it somebody famous too that did the basketball thing? Or was it
Not
just a random kid?
just a random little kid who he made cry. But then they said like, all right, I'm gonna give you this money anyway.
Oh, okay, that's it.
After it was cut and all that, it's like, hey, here.
There was something with Linda McMahon too, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think I heard about that too.
Yeah.
He bought off Hercules' contract and wanted Herc to work for him as a slave. Herc didn't like that. He bought off the number 30 spot at the 1989 Royal Rumble from Akeem. Remember that guy? And tried to buy off Big John Studd, who were the last two wrestlers in the ring before Big John eliminated DiBiase. At the 1990 Royal Rumble, he was punished for buying off the number 30 spot the year before and was given number 1. He lasted 45 minutes.
Wow.
In 1992, he got the services of IRS, which they became known as Money Inc., and they won the tag team belt on 3 separate occasions. He would mock other heel wrestlers for losing to jobbers. He mocked Razor Ramon enough to turn him face. He retired and became a manager, and even then, he still was the most hated villainous heel. He started a $1 million corporation and started buying contracts, including Nikolai Volkov, who was doing poorly and needed the money. He would embarrass him and make him wear the Sense logo on his trunk, followed by Property to $1 Million Man. He followed that up with his other partner, IRS, and then Bam Bam Bigelow. He bought others and created the most hated stable in the WWE. How do you not give him the belt? Others in the stable were Kama, who was Papa Shango and now goes by the Godfather. Good man.
Good.
The walking condom, King Kong Bundy.
Oh, what?
Oh, 5. Psycho Sid, 1, 2, 3 Kid, and the most famous one of all that I did not see coming, the Native American Tatanka. He bought off a Native American.
Terrible. Yeah.
How do you not push him? And finally, before he left to join the NWO, he introduced all of us to the new $1 million champion, the ringmaster Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy didn't last long either. So
Nah, nobody cares about him.
Ringmaster, who? He'll never go anywhere.
Never. Who? No. I
Most
don't think
hated
ringmasters in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he'll be in the Hall of Fame either. That guy had a lot of nerve coming in. See this hand right here? See it? I remember that promo. Most hated wrestler of the year, 1982. Number 17 in the PWI 500, 1991. And that's the top 10. I'm glad you joined us. If you have anything to say, let us know. Agreed or disagreed with our picks. Let us know. Send us a message. Send us a voice message saying your picks. Let us know what you think. We really want to know what you think. Like I didn't say your name, but I basically said, old school wrestling Facebook group, and I did all that. And I mentioned some of you. But one person agreed with me. I gotta say it. I gotta find it. I know one person agreed with me. And his name is Rick Lanning. There you go. Thank you, Rick Lanning, for agreeing with me. You also said that Ted DiBiase was the number 1. So yeah, cool. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it just shows that more than one person has bad taste. That's
Oh my god. Others that I reached out to, it's like, hey, can I say your name? They said yes. Tommy Kersey, thank you for agreeing. All these people, dude. Cool. They pretty much said yes.
All you guys rule.
You guys are awesome. Can't wait to hear you guys say something on the show. Okay, side note, they also want to be on the show.
Okay, well, they must have good taste if they're listening to us.
They're like, can I be on the show? Like, you gotta listen to the show first, dude.
Definitely, yeah, that's your homework.
Just listen to the show.
We're gonna put a code word. If you don't mention the code word, you can't get in.
Listen to us first, get to know us, and then come on the show, and all that stuff. Like a few people said it. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
They said yeah. Hope you enjoyed listening to that big, awesome episode. Like, it's big now. It's all here. It's there. The top 10, top non-champions of all time. From our perspective, of course. So, thank you for listening to that. Thank you for listening to the show and supporting us. You can find us on all other sort of social platforms. First, with the Nerdvana Network, or TNN for short, which is a conglomerate of podcasts that promote each other's common interests. So give them a follow as well. All queued up at the top of the show. They're from the Nerdvana Network as well. Check them out on YouTube. Follow them. Let them know I sent you. Hey guys, check out the Linktree, linktree.com / the Nerdvana Network for more information on them. Follow us on Twitter at apron_stories. Follow me on Twitter at $1 Million Geek. Listen to us on Spotify or Anchor.fm. Totally free. From Under the Apron. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the show. Download the app or go to Anchor.fm and start your podcast today. Check us out on YouTube and smash that subscribe button. It is $1 Million Geek. Hit that subscribe button. We got 19 subscribers on that channel. And follow us on Instagram from _the apron for more wrestling content. Send us a message or your favorite wrestling stories either by email. It is from undertheapron@gmail.com, or click on the link if you want to leave us a voice message. Doesn't matter if you're trolling or want to promote your business, we will still air it. This week's question: who is your favorite wrestler that defined the 90s? We are going to be making a list of all the wrestlers that was brought to us in the 90s, and we're going to list them every week on our Wednesday show, including a few possible guest spots from the Nerdvana Network family. So keep an eye out for that one. So, on behalf of myself and Michael, tune in next week and find out what kind of stories are hiding and swept as we broadcast from under the apron.